I chose to interview my brother, Jeff Dillon, for a few reasons. Jeff was adopted by my parents as a young child. He grew up in a system where he was separated from his biological siblings and moved from foster home to foster home. He overcame a rough beginning to life, educational hurdles, adult obstacles, and plenty of emotional battles. Jeff is a successful young man in the United States Army, and he has taught me so much over the years since we have been brother and sister. He is a man who would do anything for his family and loved ones. He has had to deal with more in his life than most of our nightmares consist of. He is a positive role model for not only myself, but for my 4 sons. So many people expected the worst from him because he was labeled as broken or troubled because of what life had dealt him. Instead, he overcame all the adversity that had been thrown at him, and I am honored to call him my brother. There's not a day that goes by that I can't imagine him as part of our life. God has blessed us with him. He has never been broken, but instead he was the missing piece that made our family whole.
To start off my life, I was 4 years old whenever I was taken, and me and my 2 sisters were put in foster care. Rosie and Priscilla went to the same foster care home, and I went to a separate one. And I started to be in a couple of different families. So I went through, I think, 4 families, and finally one, I just was stuck with them. And that's where I grew up, which was in Belmont, West Virginia. And I was raised by Holly and Lou, and they also babysitted other kids as well as being foster parents. And that's where I met Drew Casto, same age as me, my best friend. I was growing up with Drew at foster care at Holly and Lou's, and a family finally wanted to adopt me and Priscilla and Rosie, and they also lived in Belmont. And so we eventually moved in with them when I was in 2nd grade. And so I continued to go to school in Belmont, growing up with Drew, and finally was adopted when I was 6th grade, I think. From Eric and Benita adopted us 3. And graduated high school with Drew Casto, and still to this day we're best friends. He's the only person I know in the world more and longer than anyone else. Like, most people know their moms or brothers and sister or dad. I didn't grow up with Rosie and Priscilla for first, I don't know, 8 years of my life, and then I don't know my parents still to this day. So Drew Casto is still the only person I know more about and longer in life. Then I went to work for FYS after I graduated high school, and we traveled a lot, and I finally got moved up into Maryland. And in Maryland, we worked at a steel mill, and it was pretty nice. It was good money. It was in August when we went up in there to Maryland, and I think in February is when our house had been burnt down. I lost everything that I had obtained while being in Maryland. So all my clothes and game systems and movies and laptop and everything was gone. And the company didn't reimburse us for it. They said it was our fault that we lost our stuff, that even though it was an accident, and it sucked. And after that, I was just I'm done with working there. And that's when I finally decided to join the Army. Went to basic training in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And then I went to Maryland, Fort Meade, where I did my AIT school. And I'm a photographer and videographer for the military. It's a lot of fun. I like it a lot. And that's where I met Shannon. We finally got married in 2012. and she got stationed in Fort Lewis, which was hard. And then I got stationed in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. So we were clear across the U.S. It was rough, trying to communicate and keep in touch. And eventually, we found out in November of 2012 that she was going to live with me in March. Then January came around, Christmas time, and we had decided to get a divorce because it's just rough. It was rough. And so that was a really hard part of my life, probably getting a divorce. We got our divorce final in September 2013, and I just got back from Louisiana from a pre-deployment mission for a month long. So it was nice to get away from Fort Bragg and everyone, and sort of a little of a break. Still, it felt better to go on leave, but I went ahead and did that mission even though I wanted to get away, but work comes first. 20 days later, they sent me to the promotion board because the company I was with said that they needed me to get promoted because they needed more team leaders. So I went to the promotion board, I passed. It felt really good, and once I passed the board, it felt like everything just stress-free. Like after that, it was just everything in life was just calm. It like was something exciting for the first time in like almost a year, something good in my life. So I felt great. And then the next day I went on leave for 28 days and was able to go home and spend time with all my family, mom, dad, all my sisters and friends and everyone. And now I got back off leave and I'm in a new company and I'm a team leader and life's pretty good. Work is really good too as well. We won a competition, the Orion Challenge. It consists of a 6-mile run, a 4-mile ruck. We had to go through a shooting drill and shoot so many targets. And then we had to do land nav within the ruck as well. So we did the 4 miles and it continued on the land nav. We had to plot out 3 points and find all 3 points. And after that, we had to do a leadership course activity. And we also had to canoe at the very end. We had to race canoes. It was a lot of fun. Me and a few other people were like the only ones that knew actually how to canoe. Most people have never done it, so it was real awkward and pretty funny to watch people try to get out in the water and try to understand how to row a boat. It sounds simple, but if you don't hold your oar right and stuff like that, it's going to offset the canoe because the other person will be rowing different. A couple people fell in the water. It was a lot of fun. But like I said, our company won, Delta Company won the whole thing. We all got medals, and we got the trophy, the Commander's Cup, so our company will have it for a whole year until next year. Someone could try to get it if they want, but they probably won't if we're still there. that's pretty much it. That wraps up my life.